physician or doctors and let them tell you how to proceed and move forward. We're just here to share things that God has given to a great woman of faith. That's Miss Rebecca, and how she wants to share the healing of the product, the aloe vera plant juice, and also the topical. But without further delay, what I like to do is start off with an inspiration by Miss Donna, one
Good
of our
evening.
team. Donna, are you out there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear.
All right. Thank you, Barbara. So, good evening, everyone. I'm going to start off with the inspiration. And it says, inspiration comes from within yourself. One has to be positive. When you're positive, good things do happen. Strive to do your best in this lifetime and never give up when challenges come. You are a walking miracle. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you, Donna, for that inspiration. And again, Donna and also Alice, who's part of the ABC&H Aloe Vera team, we all had an opportunity to sit back and laugh with Denise a little bit as she was giving us some advice as we were again moving to the next level and wanting to put the Zoom, the information, and things like that together. So I never had an opportunity, and nor have the rest of the team, to meet her in person, but just listening to her voice, very powerful, very confident. I mean, she knew who she was, and was willing to, to give a helping hand wherever we needed. But she said, "Well, we got it, and we really didn't need her." But I told her, "No, we need you. You always got to mix the old way of doing things with the new. That's how we get better." But as I said, she was a flower, and she would surely be missed by the team. Um, we will kind of like, once Miss Rebecca come in and talk about Denise and tell you her journey with her, we will go back if time allowed us to have some testimonies and just do the normal schedule. But this is all, the first part of this session is about Denise R. Williams. And with that being said, is Miss Rebecca, are you out there?
Can I get this? Yes, I'm here.
I will, without further delay, I will turn it over to you, Miss Rebecca.
Okay. Good evening, everyone with sadness. I must tell you, I'm heartbroken. However, this is a fate we could not do anything about except pray that everything was well with Denise. Barbara, do you have Mrs. Hart on the line?
Yes, she's here.
Okay, all right.
We have her on the phone.
Okay, good. Because she also will be able to share information about Denise. But before I get started, there are two things I must say. For the last meeting, I wasn't here, and I will apologize for that. I got caught up in Baltimore for about 6 hours and couldn't get out, so I couldn't make it. But I thank all of you for taking control and moving forward. It just goes to show you, you never know what you can do when you have to do it, and just get it done. That's what this is all about. So I apologize and thank you. Thank you all very much. Back to my dear friend Denise. Most of you have heard Denise, but probably haven't met her. And I will tell you, I spoke to Denise for about 30 years. The first time I got to come face to face with Denise to actually meet her was about 3 years ago in Memphis, Tennessee. And just like she was on the phone, she was that and more in person. Denise was extremely instrumental in working diligently with me at the beginning of this journey and this product. Denise was a very outgoing, outspoken, determined individual, but one of the nicest people you will ever have the opportunity to meet. Denise was also very comical, was just a good person with a good heart. And if there was anything wrong, she was the first to cheer you up. So I would definitely miss Denise. I have missed her the whole time she was going through her illness. It was a heartbreak. I kept in touch with her children and her family, and we did everything we thought we could do to help her. And it just got to the point where they saw the decline. And I just want to tell you, one of the things that Denise herself told me during her illness, because she used to stay in touch with me. Denise had her first stroke when she met me in Memphis, but she had gone to a friend's house in Mississippi, I believe it was. And on her way from Mississippi, she had the stroke in Mississippi. When she left me, she went to Mississippi, and I happened to have a gallon of the aloe vera juice with me. I gave it to Denise because she was traveling alone with her son. And I said to her, take this so you'll have it with you. She went to Mississippi during the night or the early morning, about 2 o'clock. She got up to go to the bathroom and fell. That's when she had her first stroke. Denise was strong enough to drive 8 hours from Mississippi to Columbia, Missouri, where she lived. Um, I did not know she had the stroke until she told me. And she kept drinking the aloe, driving in spite of having the stroke without any other medical care. When she got to her home, she um, continued to drink it, but she wasn't completely over the stroke. So Denise's family tried to get her to go to the doctor, and she refused. Well, her family called me, and I convinced her to go to the doctor. She did. And they were treating her, but again, if you don't stay on top of these things, especially with something like a stroke, with the lack of blood flow, it continues to get worse. Well, Denise and I spoke, and she shared with me after the stroke, she lost her short term memory. She couldn't remember. What this brought about, Denise did not remember to drink enough water. Due to that, Denise continued to have strokes on both sides of her brain. That was the damage. And that caused Denise to be able to become totally unconscious, totally dehydrated. She went into continuously having urinary tract infections, which she fought but wasn't able to overcome them. This continued to get worse. She began to not be able to walk, not be able to talk, and she became totally disabled. We worked and talked with Denise and her family for about 2 months, hoping and praying that all would go well. They moved her from Missouri to Indiana, hoping that she would get better care. They put her in a nursing facility for rehabilitation. And based on the conversation I had with her daughters, she went into this facility talking and walking. She came out of this facility doing none of that. She pleaded with them to take her out of there. So it was touching, heartbreaking, but we still fought, but God saw it differently. And because God saw it differently, Denise surrendered her life to Christ on April 21st. Early that morning, her daughter called me, and all we can do at this point is pray and just rally around her children, her family, and the group which she was dearly a part of, and go from here, just knowing that she's not suffering anymore. And that will, give you some relief. But I want Mrs. Hart, who Denise was very, very close to share some of her thoughts about Denise. So please, Ms. Hart.
Thank you, Ms. Rebecca, for allowing me the opportunity. Denise, I was like this. I agree with everything that Ms. Rebecca said about Denise. And I too, like Ms. Rebecca, have never met Denise personally, except for she and I have seen each other over video. Would video me, and we would, communicate that way a lot. And Denise was just a loving person, and the years that I've met her, I think we met like in 2016, something like that. And she and I ended up bonding together. And she ended up adopting me as her mom, because her mom and her grandmother both were deceased. She ended up adopting me as her mom, and I adopted her as my daughter. And she has been like a daughter to me. I could say to Denise, well, I'm blind, completely blind. And I would say to Denise, I want so. And when I know anything, she's pulled it up on Google or something, and she's telling me what it's saying. I never had to ask her to do anything. She just did it because that was her. That's just the way that she did things. And I thank God for the opportunity of just knowing Denise. I'm gonna certainly miss her. During the time that she was in the hospital and in the rehabs, her daughters would call me, and when they felt like maybe she would listen to me, because she got to a point to where she really wasn't talking, she would just say, and I would tell her, I say, Denise, girl, I miss you so much. She said, and I say, you got to get up, girl, because we got some things to do. We gonna travel. Well, she know that I don't fly. And she would tell me sometimes, well, mother, what we gonna do if I come to Houston? I'm not gonna sit up in that house all day long. We gotta go somewhere. We gotta get on a plane and fly somewhere and do something. I said, girl, we're not gonna fly nowhere, because I'm not getting up there. And so we would just have a big laugh behind it. And I tell you, her kids have been very, very loving with me, because I told them, I say, I know that y'all get tired of me calling you. And they say, that's all right, Mother Gladys, just call me. Because when Denise introduced me to anybody, she gonna introduce me as Mother Gladys. She had everybody on conference call, whatever, calling me Mother Gladys. And I appreciated the time that we've spent together. Ms. Rebecca, I thank you so much for the opportunity of just having a few words to say concerning Denise and my relationship. Thank you very much.
Sure, you're welcome. Just to show you the sides of Denise, Denise had a very comical side to her. When Denise's husband died, I think it was in 2013, he died without a will. And so Denise called me and she and I was talking, and I said, well, Denise, you have to put everything in probate. So Denise says to me, first of all, what is probate? So I went on to explain to her what it was. And I said, as soon as an individual dies, everything, the court immediately takes over for that individual. And if the person has a will, the will be honored. If not, then the court sets up a probate estate for them, and then someone has to be the executor or the administrator of that. So Denise went to the court and she became the administrator, and they usually give you a list so you can list all of the assets of the individual. And so Denise's husband apparently was in some selling and trading used cars. So when they collect all of his assets, his retirement from his company, they sent the retirement check to Denise instead of to the probate court. So when Denise got the check, Denise called me and she said, I'm going out to buy a car. And I said, Denise, you need to check with the probate court. She said, I'll check with them after I purchase the car. So Denise went out and bought the car, and she took pictures and showed it to me. So when she went to probate court, they asked Denise, where was the money from his retirement? Denise said, you're sitting in it. So the guy looked at Denise and said, excuse me? He said, no, we need the check that you received from the probate court. Denise said, I said, you sitting in it. I used it to buy a car for myself and my kids. The probate court don't need a car. I need a car, and I bought a car. Now, what's the problem? And the guy just shook his head and said, well, we'll have to explain to the judge at the probate court. And so when they got time to explain to the judge, they called Denise up, and Denise got up and she went to talk to the judge, and it was a woman judge. So Denise said, she asked her, why did she spend the money? So Denise had a total of 10 children. Denise said she took the majority of her children with her, and she looked at the judge and said, I spent the money to take care of 10 children and myself. Is there a problem? And the woman just looked at Denise and said, no, no, ma'am, no. And Denise walked out of there without any punishment from the probate court, because normally they will arrest you if you take the assets of someone without the court's permission. And I said to Denise, did you have any problems going into probate court? Denise said, no, because I drove there in my brand new car. But Denise was that type of person, very sincere, very outspoken, very honest. And when you have a person like that, you can't do anything but respect them. You have to respect them. And this is why we have the greatest respect for Denise. And, you know, it saddens me, it hurts me, but it's something that you can't control. So I wish that you all will pray for Denise and her family and lift her children up who are struggling with this situation of the loss of their mother. So now I'm turning it back over to you, Barbara.
All right. Thank you, Miss Rebecca. I do see a person's hand up whose number ends in 0313. Is there something you want to say? Okay. If you need to unmute yourself, I believe it's star or pound 6 or 9. Okay. Well, the hand. Miss Rebecca, Miss Hart, myself, and the team want to say something about Denise, or say that they knew Denise, that would be great.
Oh yeah. Anybody that wants to, that knew Denise and want to make remarks, feel free.
Yes. And while that's looking for anyone to do that, I did send out a link today, not today, but earlier this week, where Miss Denise actually was interviewed Miss Rebecca. And I don't know if you mentioned that, Miss Rebecca, about the interview
Oh
that
yeah. Yeah. Let me share
Denise
that with
did.
you. When I first
Yes.
met Denise, what happened was people wanted to know, because they had never heard about the ABC&H. And so I would go to these farmers markets and I would have to keep telling the story over and over how it came about. So Denise and I was talking, and she said to me, I'm going to help you out. And I said, okay. She said, you and I are going to sit and I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to tell me the story of how this whole thing came about. And she did that, and she said to me, that will save you some time because all you have to do is record it and just give it to people. If they want to know, they can sit down and listen to it. The whole reason that I met Denise was Denise used to have a radio station on the internet. And one of the people that was on her radio station knew that I was involved in accounting and grants. And Denise wanted to get involved with grants. So she called me. And that's how our relationship started. And with that start was the development of the interview that you heard, of my testimony. The person that is narrating that is Denise. She's very good. She was very, very good at communicating um, publicly, um, through any type of media. So whenever you hear the testimony, my personal testimony, the individual that's narrating that is Denise. And she's done a fantastic job. And all I can do is just give her the greatest thanks and appreciation from the depth of my heart. I truly, truly miss Denise. I really do. And I just pray that, all is well. Okay. All right, Barbara.
Thank you, Miss Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead. I know this is emotional for everybody, Miss Rebecca, myself, and the team, but we want to still do what we normally do, is ask for anybody's testimony. If anybody have any comments or even have any questions to ask Miss Rebecca, I'm opening the floor up right now.
Well, let me just share something with the team and the group that would probably be helpful.
Mhm.
One of the reasons that Denise met her demise is the lack of water. Denise was continuously dehydrated. Every time she went to the hospital, that was the issue that the doctor had. And it is so vital that you drink water, because without water, when 75% of your body weight is water, and you neglect to drink water, and we've had discussions on this, you can create serious health issues, and you could end up fatal. Um, Denise told me that she lost her short-term memory during her stroke. She forgot to drink water. And that's why each time she went back to the doctor, they constantly said she was severely dehydrated because she lived alone with her son. And it got to the point where they couldn't reverse it. So please take note. You must, you must drink water. If you don't, you are creating serious health problems, and you could create your own death. Um, when people are drinking other liquids like sodas and juices, it does not replace water. You have to drink water because the blood is needs the water, and that was one of the problems that Denise ran into, because she did not have enough water in her system to circulate the blood throughout. There were clogs in her vessels going to her brain. And normally people would have strokes on one side of the brain, and the other side would be able to compensate. Denise had strokes on both sides of her brain because she did not have enough water. So please take note. It is so important that you drink water. Okay, I'm done.
All right. You all need that H2O in your system. Very
Yes.
critical, very important. Um, again, we are opening the floor up to anyone who have a testimony or want to ask Miss Rebecca a question.
My name is Jim Taylor. I'm in Houston, and I just want to say it was a pleasure knowing Denise. She was helpful, different things that we was involved in, and she was very patient and kind, and I thank her for it. And thank y'all.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
All righty.
All right. Again, anyone else? I mean, please, this is why we have these sessions. We're family here, talk about an experience, an experience you might have had, how the topical or the aloe vera juice is working. I mean, love to hear that. This is the quietest that it has ever been. If time permits, Miss Rebecca, I can bring up the YouTube if you want to give everyone a sample of that interview.
Oh,
I
sure.
can do
By
that.
all means. By all means.
Okay. And while I'm doing that, the team, Donna, Alice, you all want to have a testimony or anything you all like to share?
Well, I just want to say, so my mother is in Florida. My mother's 95. She turned 95 on the 23rd of last month. And she called me. She said, "Look, did you talk to Miss Rebecca?" because I need my aloe. She said, my body needs it. So Miss Rebecca, thank you, Miss Rebecca. She sent my mother her aloe to Florida, and she's doing very well. She takes her aloe every day faithfully. So I just wanted to give that testimony about my mom.
That's a beautiful testimony, and she's in her 90s? Wow.
Huh?
You said she's in
What's
her
that?
90s?
She's 95. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And she gets around. People like, she flying to Florida by herself. I'm like, yeah, all she needs is to be pushed in a wheelchair. She can walk, but you know, she's 95. So she gets in that wheelchair, and she knows how to go through TSA and all of that. She does well, thank God. So yeah, she's been down there cooking
And
dinner.
she doesn't want to use her cane. She told me, I
No,
don't
she
need that.
doesn't. No, she does not.
All right, you all. I'm still about. I'll be pulling that up shortly. But does anyone have a testimony or
Yes.
want to share some information? Please do so.
Hi, Miss Rebecca. This is Yvonne. I want to say condolence to Denise and family. I didn't know her, but I will, feel for her family, and will be praying for her family. In addition to that, I just want to say about the water, it is real. Because back in December, I was very dehydrated. I had a blood pressure of 62/40. I went to the urgent care, and the doctor said, you cannot leave here. I have to put you in an ambulance. And that was just because I was dehydrated. I didn't know that. I was so sick. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and now I'm drinking my water. So more than one, you're saying it all the time. We have this meeting, and I truly believe water is very, very important. Okay, that's it.
Thank you, Yvonne. Yes, it is. It's very important.
Thank you.
And I hear people say, "Oh, I don't like water." It is hard for me to understand how can you not like something when 75% of your body is made of it. I just have a very difficult time understanding that. But what I do understand, and I think this is what people are saying, they don't like the taste of water. First of all, water doesn't have a taste if you get actual water. What people are tasting is the debris and garbage, and this is exactly what it is from the pipes that the water is flowing through, and any of the pesticides that has been used in the area. And that's why water in different areas have different taste. And so you have two choices. You can take your water that you are running through your pipes and get yourself a stainless steel pot, not an aluminum pot, a stainless steel pot. Use that water from your faucet, but you must boil it an hour and a half at a slow boil. And you will see there will be steam coming from that water. That is the bacteria being removed from the water so that it can go back to the right pH balance so your body can use it. And you might want to try it sometimes. And what you want to do is you can take the water that you're drinking currently, and after you boil this water, take the two, compare them, and taste them, and you'll get to understand what I'm talking about. Water doesn't have a taste. What you're tasting is impurities and bacteria and all the other garbage that flows in through the water pipes. So it's something you want to try, but you have got to drink water. We can't afford to keep losing people because of the lack of water, which is given to you daily. So please, please drink it.
Miss Rebecca, how much
Yeah.
water should we drink a day?
You should drink at least a gallon of water per day over a 24-hour period. It's a slow process because you don't drink it all at one time. Over a 24-hour period, you should drink at least a gallon of water. And if you can drink more, that's fine, but it shouldn't be less than that.
All right.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead. What I have pulled up is actually the interviewer, Mrs. Williams, narrating the interview with Miss Brown about the ABC&H Aloe Vera juice. So just give you all a sampler. If you all want to go and hear the whole interview in its entirety, I will drop the link into this chat, and also if you want to, you all can email us and we can send you that link. But if you have email and we send you email, it's actually in the most recent email for this session tonight. The link is in there, but so you all can just hear Miss Denise.
Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. Here today on the conference line, we're here to talk with Sister Rebecca Brown in her beginning and her humbling beginning that we speak of. And so what we're going to speak on today is about Miss Rebecca, speak about her anointed body cleanser and healer and her encounter with God. And I'm going to be introducing to you right now Sister Rebecca J. Brown of Anointed Body Cleanser and Healer, CEO and President of his God-gifted miracle. Sister Rebecca, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Good morning to you, Sister Rebecca.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Well, I'm excited, doubly excited today because I want everyone to know why we're here and what this God-given miracle you have had bestowed upon you. And I want everyone to listen attentively and hear what Sister Rebecca Brown has to say about anointed body cleanser and healer.
So, good morning, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure, a blessing to be able to speak with you this morning on a blessing that came to me directly from God. This is very important to me. I get very emotional with it. So please bear with me because it's not every day that you come face to face with God and He gives you instructions. So I will start from the very beginning so you'll understand carefully what I'm talking about. In 1973, I was pregnant with my first son. And during that pregnancy, I came in contact with toxemia. They now call it eclampsia, but it was simply a disease that embattled my body, that my body and the child that I was carrying did not agree. The body didn't want to carry the child anymore, and the child was putting up a fight to survive. And so the child secreted poison into my bloodstream, which, if you know, the blood takes nutrients throughout the body. So this poison was throughout my body. And that is what is called toxemia or eclampsia. It is deadly if it's not treated and taken care of on a timely basis. Well, I had gone to my doctor that morning, my gynecologist, and I had made it back. I lived in New York, in Mount Vernon, New York. And I lived in an apartment on the 4th floor where I had to take stairs. And I got into the 2nd floor stairwell and realized I could no longer control my feet. I could not move them. And I felt this feeling, but I couldn't understand it and didn't know that at that point in time I was becoming paralyzed as I stood there. God would have it that a gentleman came out of his door, his apartment, and saw me standing there. And I'm sure he saw the look on my face, which was probably very petrifying. And he asked that I needed help. And I said, yes. I gave him my doctor's number and I said, call and tell her I need help. He called her. She sent an ambulance to pick me up. And the hospital where she was in Pelham, New York. So they took me from Mount Vernon, New York to Pelham, New York, which is not a long distance. I would say maybe half hour, if that. And by the time I arrived at Pelham, at New Rochelle Hospital, I was fully paralyzed from my.
All right, you all. I am sorry. It's an hour and something long. So if you all really want to hear the rest of the story, I would encourage you all to go for it. It's an amazing, like I said, interview. And listen to Miss Rebecca's story. I mean, wow, it ran like chill bumps down my whole body, over my whole body, so we know the miracles of what God can do, and she definitely can tell you, and you can hear it was definitely a miracle. So I would definitely encourage you all to take it upon yourself and listen to that interview, the entire interview. You will be blessed. Um, I am going to drop that in the chat. And again, if anyone who need to get the link to that interview, do let me know or let the team know, and we will make sure we will get that link out to you. Let's see, chat. Again, still open. We still got time. We have like 8 minutes left before closing.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Miss Barbara?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is Miss Hart. I wanted to ask you if you could, if you don't have time, that's fine. But Denise had a favorite song. This is My Exodus by Alundria Johnson. And if you could pull it up on YouTube and play just a little portion of it when we get ready to close out, I would appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am, I surely can. Just ask, and it shall be done.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, there's a hand up.
Hello? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. This is Clara, and I do offer my condolences for Denise and her family. But I do have a question for Rebecca. The last batch of juice that I got, after the second day, it turned brown. And I do vaguely remember something about the juice turning brown because someone else had this issue before. I think you said it's okay. You just take it out of the refrigerator because the refrigerator is too cold. Am I right about that? Hello?
Hold on just 1 minute. I'm trying to see if Miss Rebecca is still on.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I am. Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you are correct. What happens is the aloe vera has in it what we call photosynthesis, which means the energy from the sun. And if the temperature gets too cold, the energy disappears and the product will turn brown. Never put it in the back of the refrigerator. That's the coldest part of the refrigerator. If that happens, take the juice out of the refrigerator, leave it on the counter overnight. It will, once it warms up to room temperature, the energy will resurface in the product. But it's fine. Yes, you can drink it. It's fine. But that's why it turns brown.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes.
All right. Miss Hart, I'm having a problem with my hearing this evening. Did you say that wasn't Donald Lawrence that sang that song, is it?
Leandra Johnson, isn't it?
Leandra Johnson.
Okay, got you. Thank you.
And what's the name of the song?
It's either this is my Exodus or they named it Delivered Me. It's one of the two.
Got you. Let's see. Okay. Does anybody else have a testimony while I'm still trying to pull this up?
Do what?
Any other testimonies? Are there any other testimonies? Anything anybody else want to say? This is. I think I found it. Trying to take us out of here with a bang.
Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers featuring that girl, Leandria Johnson. Listen, when a person becomes a believer, their spirit is made right. But sometimes the heart rim, the soul rim, the mind rim is a little slow getting the message because life has left a hole in it due to molestation, low self-esteem, abuse. But I came to tell you that God has come to heal the hole in your soul. My sister Leandria is going to help me with this story. Take your time, sister. Sing it for somebody. Deliver me. Rescue me from myself. Cause all I seem to do is hurt me. Anybody overthink a lot. That hurts you. Hurt me. That's right. Now let's take it up. Cry out. Say. Yes, sir. Deliver me. Take your time. All I seem to do is hurt me. Anybody out there got that message? We should be finishing it, but I need you to just say it one more time. Deliver me. What? All I seem to do is hurt me. Rescue me from myself, God. Tri-City in my background. Say it again. Hold up. Rescue me from myself, from my overthinking. That's right. Now let's take it up, choir. Let's take it up. We're singing this for somebody. Get down on your knees and just say, if my people who are called by my name, you just sometimes get back down on your knees and pray and say, oh, anybody got it? I have a witness out there. Anybody need deliverance from yourself, from your overthinking? All right, this is it. I'm gonna let you take it out again. Go ahead and talk. Say goodbye to me. And I'm saying hello to the brand new me. Do you believe it? Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
All right, you all.
Hey, thanks, Barbara.
Thank you.
Leaving on that note, Leandra,
Okay.
woo, just woo,
Yeah.
God deliver. All right. I hope that everyone
Hello?
enjoyed.
Hello?
Yes.
Just one last question about water. How many cups, Mr. Rebecca was saying, a gallon a day? How many cups
Over a 24-hour
equals a
period.
gallon? Okay.
Yeah, over a 24-hour period, you should drink a gallon of water a day. And here is why. Your body uses, every part of your body uses water. Your bones, your when you perspire, you lose water. When you go to the bathroom, you lose water. The blood needs the water to circulate through your system. And just imagine if you're losing all this water, excuse me, and you never replace it, your body can't function and it starts to run into problems and complications. And that's when you have an issue with dehydration. The other problem is, especially for people who've suffered from high blood pressure, your blood vessels to the brain will sometimes get clogged. And sometimes, if they're not clogged, they get twist, and the blood is rushing trying to unclog them and untwist them so it can create the natural blood flow. Those are some of the things that cause the strokes as well. So if you can drink water, and I will tell you, if you have problems with clogged arteries and you drink the aloe, it's going to remove the clogs. And what you must understand as well, it is vital. Understand that aloe vera is not just a healer, it is a preventative to keep you from getting sick so that you won't have to worry about healing. Because understand that the body is an enclosed cavity, and it's the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, virus, and sickness. It's warm, it's dark, and it's moist. And most of us who didn't eat right and probably still don't, all of the food that you eat the body doesn't use it all. You don't expel it all when you go to the bathroom. A lot of it is sitting in your colon, in your body. It will, over a period of time, decay. With that decay become parasites. And with parasites, they start to feed on the garbage that's in your body. That alone can create serious health issues for you. So if you're drinking the aloe the way you're supposed to, you will find that your your system will be flushed to get any unwanted, any unused food out of the system. And it will prevent parasites because it will kill them, so that the body won't be hampered from performing the functions that it does or should. And then when you drink the aloe, what the aloe kills and removes, the water help flushes it out to keep the system cleansed. The whole key behind aloe, it's a stringent cleanser. And anything that is clean, you will not find bacteria, viruses, or sickness. And that's why it's so effective in keeping you healthy, keeping your body cleansed, because if you haven't cleansed your body, you don't know what's living inside of you. You don't know what's growing inside of you. And these are the things that make you ill. Does that make sense?
Yes. And also, help me out mathematically. How many cups equals a gallon? 8-ounce cups.
Okay, you've got
It's 16.
50, is it
16?
16.
Okay.
Okay. Ounces. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
You try not to drink less than a gallon over a 24-hour period. But if you can drink more, the more you drink, the better it is. But the less you drink, you bring harm to yourself.
And I do realize that with my eyes, because I think water is better than drops for your eyes.
It is.
Yeah.
It
for
is.
people who have dry eye.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yep, all those are signs that the body is suffering from the lack of water.
Yeah.
And you just can't replace it with juices and sodas. You have to have
Sugar.
water. You must have water.
Yes. I agree. 100%.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
because
you.
what happens is juices and sodas is full of sugar, so that harms your body. Water doesn't have
Yes.
sugar. That's why water is so helpful and so important to the body. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is important.
Yes, it is.
Very important.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yes.
All right. So as we wrap this up, just one last call for any questions, testimonies, and if I don't hear anything in the next couple 3 or 4 seconds, we're going to call this a wrap.
It's good to know too that aloe kills parasites.
Oh yeah, yeah. It would
Yeah.
definitely kill parasites. Look at it this way. Anything you feed, you can't get rid of it. It's just like a stray cat. If he comes around your house and you feed him, he's not leaving. With bacteria, viruses, and sickness, they feed off of sugar and the garbage that we eat, like processed foods and all of those things. If you keep eating those things, you are feeding your sickness. You're not feeding your body. And eventually, your sickness will overcome the body. And that's how the system breaks down. But if you stop feeding your sickness and start feeding the body, then you'll start to see your health automatically turn around for the better. Because again, disease, sickness, or viruses or parasites cannot live in a clean environment. There's nothing for it to feed on. And nothing wants to stay somewhere where it can't feed. And that's how aloe becomes so effective in the body in killing bacteria, viruses, funguses, parasites, anything that's going to harm the body, it removes it. That's the whole key to why it's so successful. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
All right. On that note, it is now 9:12, and we're about to adjourn this meeting. May you all have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. I forgot about that. So those of you who are mothers, take the role of mothers, raising, other people's kids. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers.
Yes.
Be blessed and be safe.
All right. Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.
When is our next meeting?
Good night.
2
Will
months
be
from
July.
today.
In July.
Okay, July. Thank you.
Okay, it'll be the second Friday in July.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I got a calendar here.
I don't have one in front of
That
me.
would be July 12th.
Thanks. Good night.
Good night.